more than a year on, Ukraine is still fighting its way out of a war Russia started. The country has lost, regained, and lost again. But the fighting continues. A big catalyst in Ukraine holding its ground is the West. The Western arms are keeping the lights on in Kiev. Now Ukraine is trying to turn the defense to offense. A counteroffensive operation has been in the works for a long time now. The Pentagon documents hinted at a similar strategy. If they are to be believed, the offensive is planned to start on April 30th, 2 days from now. Kiev says it is nearly ready to launch a huge ground assault. Earlier this month, the Prime Minister also indicated that a counteroffensive could be expected in the summer. Experts say the operation could be delayed to autumn because good weather is key for an operation like this. Ukraine will try to maneuver its own emissions, but they will also be trying to get ahead of Russian attempts to fortify their own position. The ultimate goal is to retake all territory that once belonged to Ukraine, including the annexed Crimea. Russia has hedged its bets with its winter offensive. The counter-missile attack that hit Uman and Dnipro today or yesterday, Ukraine saw these waves of attacks almost weeks in the winter. Kiev made swift gains throughout the second half of 2022, but has kept its forces back on the defensive for the past 5 months. What this has done in Russia is taking over nearly a fifth of the country, but now the war is coming to a crucial juncture. Ukrainian troops have been training at Western bases. The arsenal is full with newly donated tanks. NATO chief says that more than 98% of combat vehicles promised to Ukraine had been delivered.
Overall, through the contact group led by the United States, NATO allies and partners have provided unprecedented support to Ukraine. More than 98% of the combat vehicles promised to Ukraine have already been delivered. That means over 1,550 armored vehicles, 230 tanks and other equipment, including vast amounts of ammunition. In total, we have trained and equipped more than 9 new Ukrainian armored brigades. This will put Ukraine in a strong position to continue to retake occupied territory.
Ukrainian soldiers are now training to reform new brigades and learn how to use new weapons sent by allies. These soldiers have all seen combat as they previously took part in heavy battles to defend their country, including in the eastern city of Bakhmut. They are part of a bigger brigade that is now one of the many being reformed after suffering heavy casualties, before being sent back to the front lines. Clearly, Europe's largest armed conflict since World War II is poised to enter a new phase in the coming weeks. So Kiev and its Western military have their eyes on one thing: how to shift the dynamics of this war. And for more on this, we were earlier joined by retired Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Grant, a former advisor to Defense Minister of Ukraine and a fellow at Baltic Security Foundation. And this is what he had to say.
The answer is when they're ready, because it would be foolish for them to actually to cross the start line if they haven't actually got themselves completely ready. They haven't got all the equipment yet, although Stoltenberg actually mentioned 98%. That isn't quite true. There are still tanks and armored vehicles to come from other countries that haven't arrived yet. But I don't think that those will actually be part of the main force at the moment. But it does just show that they've got more still to come. There's a lot of preparation that's got to take place. I mean, one thing is you've actually got to move all this equipment and people to the front line where they're going to do it. And they've got to decide actually where is the weakest point of the front line. And there are several areas where Russia has been attacking around Bakhmut and in the area between Donetsk and Bakhmut, where the Russian forces have just been beaten back. And now they're actually quite weak there. And then if you actually look south, weak there in many places as well. So, you know, there are opportunities.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.